WWE is in one of the weirdest stages. It has never been the easiest place to work, with wrestlers having to accommodate the eccentricities of not only Vince McMahon, but the crew of out-of-touch yes-men who surround the WWE Chairman. With Kevin Dunn and others like him who have no idea what fans want from their wrestlers, it has been clear that in WWE, a wrestler may never really break out to become a star. Triple H has worked for a long time under these conditions, and managed to create a brand that fans loved. NXT was the show to watch for hardcore wrestling fans, before Vince McMahon started to interfere. Despite releases by Vince McMahon, Triple H continued to book the show well. However, now with Triple H facing a medical issue, McMahon and his crew took advantage of his absence to change NXT to NXT 2.0 and destroyed everything he worked for. Triple H will not be happy with this, but in truth, he does not need to be here anymore. This is Wrestling Hub, and we're talking about what if Triple H and Stephanie McMahon started their own wrestling promotion now. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. For Triple H and Stephanie to leave WWE, there would need to be a breaking point, and frankly, they are already there. For years, Stephanie McMahon has done an incredible job as Chief Brand Officer. She has more than enough experience, but seeing her father Vince treat Triple H in the way that she has can't be easy. In the last decade, Triple H made a brand fans loved, and over the last year, watched all his effort come down to nothing because of his father-in-law. He personally mentored several wrestlers on the brand and made sure they stood out. These stories NXT told were so unique that no one was ready for them. They had some of the best moments in WWE. He built stars like Neville, Bo Dallas, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, Aleister Black, McIntyre, Andrade, Karrion Kross, Gargano, Ciampa, Keith Lee, and more. However, they were not the ones getting the big push when they were going to the main roster. In fact, most were being treated like they were nobodies. One by one, all these wrestlers were being driven out of the company. Still, when WWE started to make cuts and released a large number of NXT stars, it was a blow no one saw coming. With Triple H sidelined by medical issues and no one there to protect these stars from the release hammer of John Laurinaitis, Nick Khan, and Vince McMahon, NXT was destroyed. Having not been able to beat Dynamite in head-to-head competition, NXT was declared a failure backstage. The complete insult to Triple H that this will possibly be the breaking point. For Triple H, this could be the insult that provokes him to leave. Seeing the insult to her husband and realizing that Vince McMahon never means to step down and hand the company to them, Stephanie too could leave. Leaving WWE is all well and good, given the insults. It would not be unexpected for Triple H and Stephanie to leave the company, but would they join another company? No. After the taste of power they had in WWE, it's not only unlikely, it's impossible that they will work for any of their competitors. Stephanie and Triple H are no longer those who become employees. They can be something bigger. Triple H and Stephanie hold ample stock in WWE. If they were leaving, they would be selling their shares, and that would be worth in the high hundred millions at least. They could start a company almost immediately, and given their contacts in pro wrestling and entertainment, they would get a TV deal. As all networks are looking for consistent weekly programming that will be there long term. Stephanie has said that one person could not replace what Vince McMahon did in WWE, and multiple people would be needed, which would make her partnership with Triple H perfect for this. I don't think there will ever be a person-to-person replacement for Vince McMahon. He does too much. The landscape would look different however it shakes out, but I think it's a marriage of those things. They could call it Helmsley Pro Wrestling or HPW. There are a lot of wrestlers Triple H and Stephanie could easily hire thanks to the loyalty that they have towards them. He could sign top names and get them from WWE or AEW. Given his understanding of stars, he could easily get Aleister Black, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Adam Cole as top names to join him, as well as others like Bray Wyatt and Keith Lee. And if Triple H is leaving WWE, then one man is sure to leave with him, Shawn Michaels. He is the perfect star for Triple H to have as an authority figure on screen, given he and Stephanie would be busy with the administrative side of things. Another wrestler who has loyalty for Triple H, William Regal would be more than likely to leave WWE to join them. Eventually, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley, Io Shirai, and several other stars who rose up to their best under Triple H would probably make the risky move to join as well. Once Triple H has founded the company, he has to define what sort of promotion it would be. It would likely be a combination of the NXT fans fell in love with and WWE. Triple H would introduce the same wrestling style that helped the black and gold brand. Similarly, Stephanie would bring her ability to work at a corporate level and use her contacts to establish HPW as the next great brand. Not only that, HPW would not need to be a huge promotion. Having a limited roster of 50 stars, a mixture of youngsters and fully established names would be more than enough. AEW is a great promotion and is the first time that someone or something has stood up to the status quo. They have amassed a large following and are seen as competition for WWE. Still, with Stephanie and Triple H, they could do something that has been missing in AEW. For a while now, AEW's pretended fans are aware of everything that happens on Being the Elite or even in the Bullet Club and the Indies before AEW even started. This alienated fans, as it always felt like AEW was telling inside jokes. Triple H and Stephanie would never do that, and that would allow casual fans tuning in to relate to the show. These stories, whatever they were telling, would be told from start to finish on the show itself, keeping everyone in the loop and not forcing fans to look elsewhere or on obscure wrestling shows. AEW has opened up the wrestling world, working with the NWA, Impact, AAA, or New Japan. No one would ever expect Vince McMahon to give up the habits of so many years to suddenly partner with promotions. However, that's why WWE has looked so out of touch over the years. Triple H does not think of the wrestling world in those terms, and may be the one to bring the company out of the shadows to compete with anyone and everyone, but also team with other promotions, even AEW. Before, Triple H has even talked about this, and has mainly spoke about the partnership he fostered with other promotions, saying WWE is open for business. You know, in what you've seen in the past, Progress, ICW, Evolve, all those things. Yeah, we're open for business in a lot of ways, and a lot of things, and a lot of everything. People's thoughts, misperceptions, their perceived knowledge of what we do, how we think, and all that stuff is often greatly misinterpreted, and not necessarily accurate. So okay, are we open to the right business opportunities? Yeah, at any given time we're open to things, and it just depends on what they are, and if they're beneficial to us long term. And again, when I say long term, I'm not talking about 3 months or 6 months. Long term, 10 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. Is that beneficial? Is that meaningful? Is that long term? That's how we think. It's much longer in duration, not necessarily worried about the minute by minutes. It's the long duration, and so open for business. When someone like Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, William Regal, and Shawn Michaels could lead a brand, with this mindset, there would be more than enough takers in the wrestling industry to partner with them. For a long time, WWE's main roster has been difficult for anyone to keep up with. They do not really tell long-term stories. One week, Elias is advertised as being dead and there being a new character waiting for him. The next few months, he disappears and is not mentioned again. One week, Aleister Black enters the ring and he hits Big E with a kick, stopping him from winning the Intercontinental Championship. The next week, he's been released. One week, Hit Row are brought up and win a match, looking like the next big faction, only to have B-Fab released the next week and the rest of the group let go the week after. Triple H believes in telling proper stories, and in bringing in stars he knows fans want to see. He was the one who managed to bring Samoa Joe back when he was fired. He was also the one who signed back Drake Maverick after his firing. Joe himself talked about that. It wasn't unexpected, but at the same time I was relatively calm about it. I've kind of been in this situation before. A younger me probably would have been really freaked out, but at this point you just roll pivot. That's really all there is to it when it comes to life in general. It's kind of the mantra I've kept. So at that point I think I was kind of in the works and setting up the framework for whatever else I was going to do. A few hours later I get a call from Triple H and it pretty much all kind of changed. He was the one who talked to the Revival when they were ready to leave and were offering to bring them back to NXT. Given WWE's main roster has always seen short-term booking, with Vince McMahon tearing up scripts hours before the show is supposed to air, the reality behind the scenes is one of confusion. On the other hand, NXT's creative was always different, with long-term storylines being told regularly. Simply said, Triple H knew exactly what he was doing, and with his creative team, had weeks and months of storylines carved out. Stephanie and Triple H care about where wrestling came from. One issue with WWE has been that it has never really cared about the wrestling aspect of it. They have been about sports entertainment, with the term wrestling even banned. On the other side of things, AEW went so far the opposite way, caring about wrestling, but only about the modern scene of wrestling instead of the heritage of wrestling. Gone is the idea of selling, as it's all about how much someone can jump about and how many flips someone can turn in midair. The psychological side of wrestling is something that a few wrestlers on the roster understand, but for the majority, they don't have any idea. They know how to perform in the ring, but they don't know how to tell a story. Triple H is someone who respects the heritage of wrestling. He would ensure that side of wrestling with slow burn and high-flying matches all have their place. Any wrestler competing would have to know how to sell moves and not just get up a second after taking a huge bump. You'd also bring in the characters and gimmicks of the main roster of WWE, giving them stories for fans to get behind. For example, the story by Gargano and Ciampa remains one of the best in any wrestling promotion. In this way, they would be a promotion that would bring in casual and hardcore fans. When Triple H and Stephanie break away from WWE to form their own wrestling promotion, their leaving WWE would create ripples that would change the entire wrestling world. WWE would be seen as vulnerable to competition, something that has not happened in a long time. Such a change in wrestling would be sure to bring back lapsed fans. A McMahon competing outside WWE against the promotion of her father, with Triple H by her side, would be sure to attract the attention of mainstream media. In truth, it would shake the wrestling world to its core. And this was What If Triple H and Stephanie McMahon started their own wrestling promotion. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.